Hello and welcome to Exponential Knowledge. The goal of this channel is to compound knowledge one book at a time, seeking exponential growth. In today's video, I'm going to review On Writing, a Memoir of the Craft by Stephen King. First of all, let me just start by saying that this is a must-read for any writer, whether you're just starting out or you've been writing for years. King's writing is engaging and his advice is practical and useful. This is not only my favorite book on writing, but it is also up there with my all-time favorite books, period. Stephen King begins this book with as depressing of a childhood story as one could imagine for the most prolific horror novelist of all time. However, the book gets more hopeful after that as King describes the beginnings of his career as a writer. King's writing career started when he began selling stories to his mother for a quarter each as a little kid. From there, he progressed to writing for his high school's newspaper. After much persistence, King eventually began selling stories to magazines in his early 20s. His first breakthrough as a writer was the book Carrie, which he sold the rights to for $400,000 in the early 70s. The remainder of the biographical segment is a wild ride through the career of Stephen King, describing the high points of his career as well as the low points, including his notorious battle with drug addiction. According to King, during this phase of his career, he wrote some books that he doesn't even remember writing because of the excessive drug use. According to King, he has no recollection of writing Cujo, one of his personal favorite books. One of the things I really loved about this book is that King is extremely honest about his own journey as a writer. He shares his struggles and successes, making the book extremely relatable. The second half of the book discusses the craft of writing. This section is broken down into two separate parts, the toolbox and On Writing. In the toolbox section, King describes a toolbox that his carpenter grandfather owned when he was a little kid. The toolbox had 3 levels with a removable top and little drawers in each of the levels. King recommends that writers should build a similar toolbox for the tools needed to write effectively, except with 4 or 5 levels instead of just 3. The tools King discusses include vocabulary, grammar, and the elements of style. Some of the key points stressed in this section are to avoid the passive voice, avoid adverbs, and to pay attention to the rhythm of paragraphs. The next section, On Writing, includes everything that Stephen King knows about writing good fiction. This section alone makes the book worth the price of admission. It is the distillation of a multi-decade career by one of the most successful novelists of all time. This is a section that includes advice on how to write like Stephen King. According to King, in order to be a good writer, you must do 2 things above all others: read a lot and write a lot. King specifically recommends 4 to 6 hours of reading and writing every day. In terms of words per day, King writes 2,000 every day without fail, but he recommends 1,000 per day for the aspiring writer. One of the key takeaways from On Writing is the importance of reading widely and consistently. King emphasizes that reading is essential for any writer as it exposes them to new ideas and helps them improve their own writing skills. The final section of the book includes a reading list by King with over 100 influential books on it. Overall, I highly recommend On Writing to any writer looking to improve their craft. It's a quick read but packed with valuable information and inspiration. Even if you aren't a writer, this is still a book that is worth picking up. As a master of his craft, King's expansive knowledge can be applied across domains. Anybody who is interested in learning a skill could benefit from King's perspectives and experiences, including his consistent work ethic and professional approach to his craft. Thank you for watching, and be sure to leave a comment with your thoughts on the book if you've read it. Also, if you have any recommendations for books you would like me to review in the future, please leave those below as well. Happy reading and writing, everybody.